Imagine a world where statues as tall as 10-story buildings stand on the shores of the seas. Imagine deserts where gardens rise, appearing as if they are hanging in the air. 2,000 years ago, travelers made lists of the most incredible structures, calling them the wonders of the world. These were symbols of limitless wealth, faith, and the talent of the great masters of antiquity. We are used to seeing their images in books and movies, but the reality is that almost all of them have vanished. Of the 7 legendary wonders, only the pyramids of Egypt have survived to this day. All other masterpieces have turned into dust, stones at the bottom of the ocean, or foundations for ordinary buildings. Where did these giant structures disappear to, and why did humanity fail to preserve them? We will trace exactly how the greatest monuments in history perished, and what actually remains of them. This is a story of how time, natural disasters, and human madness erase from the map what once seemed eternal. To understand how the wonders of the world disappeared, we must realize how different that world was. In ancient times, there was no concrete, steel, or electricity, so every such building was a true feat of engineering. People spent decades mining rare marble, transporting tons of gold, and lifting heavy blocks to enormous heights. But once the great empires began to weaken, their symbols became vulnerable. The causes of destruction were different, sometimes even mysterious. The story of this wonder begins with a great war and an incredible victory, perceived as divine intervention. In the year 305 BC, the powerful fleet of General Demetrius Poliorcetes besieged the island of Rhodes. He used the most modern siege engines of his time. The largest of them was called the Helepolis, or Taker of Cities. It was a giant tower on wheels, covered with iron sheets, and equipped with catapults. The people of Rhodes held out for a year, and finally Demetrius retreated, leaving his equipment behind. Instead of dismantling it, the residents sold it, and used the funds to hire the sculptor Chares to build a statue of the god Helios. Initially, the height was supposed to be 18 meters, but it was doubled. Construction began in 292 BC and lasted 12 years. An earth mound was piled around the statue, which was gradually removed as it rose. Thus appeared the bronze colossus, 33 meters high, standing on a marble pedestal. Only a few decades later, a powerful earthquake in 226 BC broke the structure, and the giant fell. For almost 8 centuries, it lay on the ground. In the year 653 AD, the Arabs cut it up and carried it away using 900 camels. Today, not a single fragment of it remains. The lighthouse of Alexandria, on the island of Pharos, was another magnificent wonder. It was built around 285 BC by order of Ptolemy I, designed by the architect Sostratus of Cnidus. The structure reached a height of over 120 meters. Enormous bronze mirrors reflected light to a distance of 50 kilometers. The lighthouse survived for centuries, but an earthquake in 796 AD destroyed its top. More tremors followed in the 14th century, which finally brought it down completely. Later, Sultan Qaitbay used the fallen stones to build a fortress. Today, the remains of this legendary lighthouse lie beneath the water. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were also a marvel of the ancient world. They were built in the 6th century BC by King Nebuchadnezzar II for his wife, Amytis. They consisted of a terraced pyramid with a sophisticated irrigation system. Wheels and buckets were used to lift water from the Euphrates River to the highest levels. After the decline of Babylon, the irrigation system was destroyed. The water stopped flowing, the plants perished, and the clay structure crumbled away. Eventually, the desert swallowed everything that was left. In the 20th century, archaeologist Robert Koldewey conducted excavations in Babylon. He discovered an unusual foundation with a deep well and a complex system of channels. Koldewey was convinced he had found the legendary gardens. However, modern researchers offer a different version. They believe the gardens were not in Babylon, but in the city of Nineveh. They suggest they were built by the Assyrian king Sennacherib. This explains why there are no clear inscriptions in Babylon about such a grand construction. Whatever the truth, the Hanging Gardens have completely vanished. They left behind not even a piece of a wall or a tree. Today, at their supposed site, there are only dusty excavated trenches among the Iraqi sands. This wonder was the first example of man trying to subdue nature to create an artificial paradise. But nature prevailed as soon as the mechanisms stopped, and people left the city. The gardens literally dissolved into the landscape, leaving only the legend of a king's love. The Temple of Artemis in Ephesus was not just a sanctuary, but a city within a city. It was considered the most magnificent building in the Greek world. The temple was destroyed and rebuilt several times. Its largest version began construction around 550 BC, funded by the Lydian king Croesus. Architect Chersiphron and his son Metagenes chose a marshy area for the foundation. They did this to soften the impact of earthquakes. The foundation was made of charcoal and sheep's wool covered with marble blocks. 127 columns supported the roof. After 2 centuries, the temple was set on fire by Herostratus. This happened on the night of July 21, 356 BC. Later, the residents of Ephesus rebuilt it. In the 3rd century AD, the Goths partially destroyed it. By the end of the 4th century, it was closed following the ban on pagan cults. The marble was looted, the columns were burned for lime, and the swamp swallowed the remains. By the 19th century, nothing visible remained. In 1869, John Wood discovered the foundations at a depth of 6 meters. Today, only a single column stands at the site. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was built as a tomb for the ruler Mausolus by his wife Artemisia. The structure reached 45 meters and combined several architectural styles. At the top, there was a chariot with figures. It survived for almost 1,000 years until earthquakes in the Middle Ages destroyed it. In the 15th century, knights used the stones to build a fortress. Today, only individual fragments are preserved in a museum. The statue of Zeus at Olympia was completed by Phidias in the 5th century BC. Standing 15 meters tall, it was made of gold and ivory over a wooden skeleton. The statue remained in the temple for almost 8 centuries. After the ban on pagan temples, it was moved to Constantinople. In the 5th century, a massive fire completely destroyed the statue. The original temple was later leveled by an earthquake. The history of these lost wonders shows how fragile human creations can be. Only the Great Pyramid of Giza survives because of its massive scale and simplicity. All the others have turned into legends, and archaeologists still search for their traces today. If you found this video interesting and learned something new, please support the channel with a like. Share this video with your friends to help them discover these ancient mysteries. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more mysterious and historical revelations.